I like to start with introducing myself. So, my name is Arya. I'm a career counselor here at the Career Center. A little bit about my background is that I started off years ago at community college, first generation college student, graduate, and then I ended up coming to Sac State to do my bachelor's in psychology and then getting my master's in career counseling. And if there's one thing that I've kind of learned throughout my career journey is that most of the positions that I have worked in, and even the current one, has all been due to networking. So if it's anything that you take away, it's the importance of really putting yourself out there. And, in these events such as career fairs, this is a great way to learn more about yourself and to network with various companies and employers as well. So just know that the networking piece is super, super essential. So I want you to consider the following. What are your thoughts about attending a career fair, right? Are you kind of feeling like this is going to be a great opportunity to network with others? Are you maybe hopeful about the fact that you're going to learn more about opportunities? And then I want you to consider what are some emotions that are coming up for you when you think about attending a career fair? Are you excited to learn about opportunities? Are you a little bit nervous, to talk to different people? All of those emotions are completely valid, right? You're allowed to be nervous and excited at the same time. Um, just know that, if you are feeling a little bit nervous, that just means that you care about it, right? So that's completely valid. And employers also understand that, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best, relax, right? And realize too that you don't have to have your whole career plan like all together as you attend this career fair. Just attend anyway. And oftentimes, when we do attend these career fairs, even if you're not 100% sure about, what opportunities you want to pursue, it's still a great way for you to find out more, even if you realize, you know what, I'm not even currently looking for a position right now. I'm just kind of seeing what's out there. Well, that's great because after the career fair, you're going to be feeling way more prepared so that when you do get to that point where you're like, I want to apply for a couple of jobs, you know what opportunities are out there, right? So if anything, you're going to learn a lot more about yourself. You're going to learn more about the opportunities that you wish to pursue, and then also about all of the different employers. So just think of this as like a really great learning opportunity as you network and talk to other people at the career fair. And also realize that, just like they're looking for candidates, qualified candidates, you're also basically scanning the room and you're also networking to find out, is this a good fit for me, right? So it's almost like, yeah, they're going to be trying to figure out if you're a good fit for the company, but that's also like your job is also to do the same thing and make sure that they're a really good fit for you too. And I found that when I kind of think of it that way, it kind of calms the nerves a little bit, right? Because there's so many different employers and so many opportunities for you. So just know that it is equally as important and that you are valuable and that the skill sets that you have, right? They are also looking for those skill sets as well. Okay, so here are some of our learning objectives. So by the end of this presentation, you will be able to proactively prepare for the career fair, identify the benefits of attending the career fair, and identify resources that the Career Center offers to support students in order to prepare for the career fair. So what are the benefits, right? I know I briefly covered this, but kind of going into more depth about it. So you're practicing making a connection, right? You can connect one-on-one with employers and recruiters. You can also go ahead and practice your pitch statement, which is basically like your introduction spiel, which we'll be going into a little bit later, and we'll get some practice around that. You can receive advice as well as guidance from employers, right? You can learn more about what are the different roles, the internships, and the jobs that they have to offer. What do they look like? What are the requirements? As well as, even figuring out like, this is my industry. I'm wondering what are some helpful tips for me that I would like to know as I navigate this particular field, right? So you can definitely learn more about the industry opportunities as well as explore different companies. This is also a great time where you get to learn about, their mission statement and then really thinking like, do I align with this mission statement? Um, and basically, it's just a great way to practice, practice, practice. So, because there's going to be so many employers, that just gives you a lot of opportunity to be able to, talk to the variety of employers that are there. And a strategy that I've used that has been super helpful, right, is that as you go through Handshake to look at the list of employers and who's going to be there, you're going to be able to figure out, right? Like, because there's over 100 employers, you're probably not going to talk to all 100 unless you really want to. I probably wouldn't recommend it though, just because it might be a little bit overwhelming, right? So maybe you create a list and you're like, okay, I see these 5 employers that I really want to talk to. I usually start with my fifth choice first and talk to that employer, then my fourth, then my third, and then eventually at the end, I get to my first. And what that does is it builds confidence along the way because as you keep talking to more people, you're going to notice that your confidence kind of increases, right? So that's also a great strategy for you to be able to kind of feel more confident in your ability to talk to other people. So you could start with, your the choice that's your least favorite and then go to your first favorite choice. And that's also a great way to learn more about opportunities. So here are some do's for the career fair prep process. So do plan ahead, do your research, right? Go on Handshake, really figure out, what are the opportunities that they have? What does the company culture look like? Can I go onto the website and find out more about the employers? All of those things. Dress for how you want to be addressed. Always say dress to impress, right? So I think that makes you feel more confident, and you can always find out more too through the company website about, how are people dressing in this company that are working there. That's also a great way to find out more. Also, do show initiative, right? If you're excited about an opportunity and you go talk to an employer, that's going to show. So definitely show some initiative. And then you can also follow up with employers, right? So after the career fair, if you wait about a week or so, you can go ahead and send a follow-up email saying, it was wonderful meeting you at the. I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me time to chat with you. I'm wondering, we discussed about some opportunities. When should I hear back, right? So you can definitely follow up with employers, and that just shows you taking initiative and really being proactive, right? Um, with doing so. So those are just some do's for the career fair prep portion. So when it comes to planning ahead, I would recommend utilizing Handshake to map out the employers that are going to be in the room, right? So again, sometimes it can feel kind of overwhelming when you see so many employers. So doing the planning process ahead of time for the career fair is going to help your nerves calm down a little bit, and then you're going to feel more equipped to be able to have these conversations, right? So definitely use Handshake and map out, this is the employer that I want to talk to. Maybe it's the California Department of Water Resources, and you're like, okay, I know that they're at that table on that side. I'm going to make sure that, when the career fair starts, I'm going to go talk to them first or second, right? Just making sure that you kind of know where employers are will help you feel more confident as well as knowing who's there. You also want to register online for the career fair through Handshake. So if you go to Handshake, you want to make sure that you do both days, right? So the all majors career fair is going to be day one, and then the family and consumer sciences one is going to be day two. So you want to make sure that you're registering for both. And we do have little QR codes on some of the later slides, so you'll be able to even take a couple minutes to do that. But definitely go through Handshake and go ahead and register that way. And you want to mark your calendar and just know that, our career fairs are offered both in the fall and the spring. So definitely mark your calendars ahead of time and plan to attend both of those. And then follow through, prioritize, and attend. I always say, if you create a goal for yourself, you kind of want to follow through, right? Because basically, if you have a goal in mind and you're like, you know what, I really want to attend the career fair, make sure you do it because that's you holding yourself accountable. And you're going to notice that if you do hold yourself accountable and you attend, your confidence level is going to grow, right? So making sure that you're keeping the promises that you make to yourself are going to be essential. And then familiarize yourself with the employer list on Handshake. So again, Handshake is going to be really helpful as you kind of try to map out who you want to talk to, right? and make a resume development appointment with me or any of the other career counselors. We're happy to basically provide you with guidance and so that your resume is ready to go for the career fair. I would maybe bring at least a couple copies so that, if the employer does talk to you, you're able to hand those out to them and it has, all of your contact information, your relevant experience, and some of your accomplishments. So doing a resume development appointment with us during either our drop-in times or during the appointment slots is going to be super helpful. That way it's ready to go for the career fair and you're not having to be like, is my resume looking good? It's all good. So you can go ahead and do that.
My name is Maria Johnson. I also work for the Career Center. I'm in the background monitoring the chat. We also have the links to schedule an appointment with a career center counselor as well as our resume development workshop that will be happening exactly 1 week from today. So that's what you're seeing in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you,
No
Maria.
problem.
So, speaking of planning ahead, this is an example of what it would look like if you were to log into Handshake. Um, and basically, if you log into Handshake, you'll be able to see the job and internship fair, and it will give you details, map, employers, and jobs. So, we're going to go ahead and go on to Handshake. And if you go under career events, if you click on events and you click at career fairs at your school, you can navigate it right here. So you're going to see the spring and fall internship fair. So I'm going to click on that. Um, and basically it'll let you know if you registered or not. So once you click register, if you click on employers, you're going to be able to see all of the different employers that are going to be attending the career fair. And this is a great way for you to be able to kind of like go through and really figure out, right? Who are the people that I want to talk to at this career fair, right? I see right here, okay, California Coalition for Rural Housing is attending. I see that the California Department of Developmental Services is attending. So if I wanted to find out more, I would click this little link right here. And they would basically let you know all of the different job opportunities that are available to you. You could even find out more about, the Department of Developmental Services and really find out like what are the different opportunities, what's their mission statement. And what that's going to do is that the conversation that you have with the employer is going to look so different, right, than if you didn't do the research. So that's where I would really recommend, going through this list and really seeing who's attending, what are the departments that are coming, and does it align with my values, right? If you do your research ahead of time, you're going to be way more likely to A, feel confident, and B, have those conversations with the employer also remembers you. So it's about leaving that impression, right? That's going to be super, super essential. Yes, you can register for both career fairs this way. Same with the family and consumer sciences fair as well. Make sure that you register for both. So again, if you click on career fairs, the spring education, family, and youth services fair is here as well. So if you clicked on this one, same thing. With employers, you're going to be able to see all of the different employers that are attending. And the one thing I would say is that the Family and Consumer Sciences Fair, that one gets overlooked sometimes. And so make sure that you don't overlook it because this one also has great opportunities, right? You're going to see school systems, unified school districts. You're going to see so many different opportunities. But the one thing that sometimes people think is that they just have teaching positions, but that is not the truth. There's so many other positions, even for like STEM majors, for example. So just know that, there's so many different opportunities. They have departments of human resources in these school systems. If you're a STEM major, right, maybe you're thinking about analyst positions. So it's not just teaching positions, right? There's so many other ones too that, you can be a part of as well.
As it was coming up, it was perfect timing. So yes, we highly suggest that because just because it is, it's perfect timing. So just because it says for education, youth, and family services, think about like just like Aria said, say you're, someone's a computer science major, they're, every employer needs someone who works in computer science or computer engineering. You need an IT department, right? Communications. You're going to need different positions that would be either in in the school districts or maybe one of the nonprofits. So there's so many different opportunities. So don't pigeonhole yourself when you think, oh, that's not specific, but there are more opportunities out there. It just may be a school district or a youth services organization, but that doesn't mean they don't have a position for you. Go ahead,
Yes,
Aria. I'm sorry.
question. No, no, you're good. Yeah, I totally agree with Maria. I think sometimes, we think like majors have to equal career, right? But the reality is, I think, with something like a communications major, which is so broad, the good thing is the opportunity are like limitless, right? I've seen communication majors like come to the Family and Youth Services Fair and find opportunities within human resources, right? I've seen them find opportunities within like front desk, right? Secretary positions for school systems because you're able to utilize the skills that you're learning in the classroom, such as your interpersonal skills, your ability to problem solve, and things like that. So there's definitely so many different opportunities, and I would encourage you to check out both if you can, for any major, because I think, like Maria said, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself. You want to be able to explore all of the different opportunities and also get a feel for like the company culture, right? Once you talk to the employers, that's what that's going to tell you too. And once you kind of tend to network, I think that the beautiful thing about the career fair is you're able to do that versus if you just apply online, you're not able to get a feel for like what the company culture would be like, right? So that's also a great way to find out more. So check out the map of the fair. For your to-do list, you want to identify maybe 3 employers that you could talk to, and then check out the company website like I showed you. And then you can also follow the company in Handshake to find out more about what they're doing and connect with the employer at the career fair. So that's kind of like that would be my little checklist as I kind of go through this and I'm trying to prepare ahead of time for the career fair. Okay, so doing your research, right? Um, Identify employers and companies you like to learn more about. Take a look at the website. You can also go onto LinkedIn as well to kind of get more additional insight of individuals who are currently working in the company. You could even schedule an informational interview with them, which is like a brief, you could send them a little note saying, hey, um, you know, I'm a current student. I am looking for opportunities within the field of, let's say they're like a marketing manager, right? Um, I'm looking at opportunities in the state. I saw that you're a marketing manager. I'm wondering if I could schedule a brief 20-minute chat with you just to find out more about what you do, right? And people love talking about what they do. So this is a great opportunity for you to be able to network. So you can also get, additional insight, really find out more about like what is it actually like to work in that company? What do they really enjoy about working in that company? What do they not like, right? You're getting like the 411 about what it's actually like. So that could be really helpful as you're trying to make a decision about what opportunities you wish to pursue. You can also identify companies to meet and prepare thoughtful questions as well, right, ahead of time. So I feel like that homework piece of doing your research is really going to make you feel confident and comfortable when it comes time for the career fair, right? So the work kind of begins now before the career fair in order to prepare and just feel really good about it. So here are like sample questions that you may wish to ask employers at the career fair. Right? So if you kind of look at these questions, the one thing that they all have in common is that you're trying to find out more about them and really trying to make a decision about does this job position or does this internship or co-op really meet the goals that I have for myself, right? Maybe my goal is to gain more experience and really find out what are the different opportunities within the company. Okay, well, is that position kind of allowing that, right? Really thinking about your values and what aligns well with you is going to be helpful as you kind of make a decision about, what positions you end up applying to. Um, so definitely having thoughtful questions in mind is going to be essential. So dress for how you want to be addressed. What does that mean? Basically means that for the career fair, you want to choose professional attire that increases your confidence, your self-esteem, And that also demonstrates your professionalism and understanding of the industry and the work culture. Here's some examples of sample attire that you may wish to utilize for the career fair. Might be a button-down shirt, which can be dressed up or down or paired with slacks, blazer, skirt, or a tie. And to reduce costs, definitely, consider local thrift stores, food banks, and clothing closets. We do not want you to like spend a whole lot of money on your wardrobe, right? So definitely consider cost-effective solutions too. And yeah, definitely, I feel like I always say dress to impress. So however you feel best and most confidence to show up to the career fair, that's completely fine. And do show initiative, right? So when you do introduce yourself to an employer, you want to make sure that you're using eye contact, that you're smiling, that you're showing enthusiasm for being there. Um, I think it really shows when you care about a position and you're applying, right? Or wanting to find out more versus if it's just, okay, I'm just gonna, talk to like 10 or 20 people and not show enthusiasm. So definitely be enthusiastic, really do your research so you know who you want to talk to and practice your 30-second commercial, which we will be doing shortly. And then making sure your LinkedIn account profile is also up to date. So definitely doing that. And then we can also help with any of these things, right? So if after this presentation you're kind of like, I need a little bit more help with my pitch statement, or I need a little bit more help making sure my LinkedIn profile looks good or my resume is up to date, just know you don't have to go through any of this alone. You could schedule an appointment with me or any of the other career counseling staff, and we can kind of help you and meet you where you're at. Okay, so when it comes to following up with employers, you want to follow up with a personalized message or a phone call within a week. You don't want to, kind of do it the next day. You want to give them a little bit of time, but you also don't want to wait too long. So usually about a week is like a good time period to wait before you kind of express um, gratitude or your interest in the company and specific openings. And then consider what you've learned and apply for positions using a tailored cover letter and a resume to the companies you're interested in, right? I cannot highlight this enough. I think the number one thing that us as career counselors we see is that sometimes people will just do generic resumes and they're, applying to maybe 10, 20, 30 positions. But what ends up happening is that, it's very obvious to the employer when you're just kind of applying to apply. Um, Versus if you're really tailoring your cover letter and your resume to the company that you're interested in, it's going to show, right? Maybe it's like, I met you at the career fair and I'm really interested in this position. It was great meeting you. I really admire your mission statement of giving back to the community. That's something that I align with. And I'm really looking forward to this opportunity, right? That's going to sound very different than if you're just kind of generically applying to position after position, just saying like, I'm applying to this position, right? So making sure that you tailor it, it's going to be the difference between you getting that interview and not. So making sure that you tailor it, looking at their values, their mission statement, looking at, those transferable skills that we talked about that you're learning from your classroom, your internships, your jobs, all of those become really, really essential as you apply for these positions. Um, and yeah, again, we can help you. So don't feel like, you're interested in it and you're like, I don't know what to do. We're here. That's literally what we're here for. So make sure that you schedule appointments, okay?
We have a question, Aria. Someone, is it Sean? Yes, Sean. Sean would like to know if students can schedule an appointment via email. I just put a link in the chat. There's a click, you can just click on it and it'll bring you to the Career Center website. This particular link will bring you directly to the page where you can go ahead and schedule an appointment with a career counselor. So I'm gonna
Yes, I definitely recommend using that link that
there.
Maria put in the chat. We offer both virtual and in-person appointments throughout the week, Monday through Friday. We also have drop-in times as well on the different days, and I'll be sharing that information as we get towards the end of it too. But if you go onto the Career Center website, all of our drop-in times and our appointment Slots are listed, and I'm sure Maria also put it in the chat for you. But definitely use that link, and you can, schedule as per your availability. If you wanted to do a virtual one or in person, depending on your schedule, we do offer both, and you can schedule that way. And that would probably be the best bet, because sometimes emails get overlooked with our inboxes kind of being flooded. So definitely just scheduling through the website is something that you can do. Yes. Okay, so what to bring to the career fair, right? You want to bring a professional folder, updated copies of your resume, um, and you may wish, right, if you have a portfolio to bring it, a notebook and a pen. And you may not have business cards yet, or you might have it. If you do have it and you want to wish to share it, or your electronic contact information, you can go ahead and do that. Sometimes when people don't have that, they'll just have their contact information, on their resume anyway. So go ahead and like when you do put it on your resume, I would recommend making sure you're using an email and a phone number that you're okay with being contacted at. Um, the one thing that I would also point out is if you're graduating, just know that your email for Sac State, I believe it expires within a year after graduation, might be sooner. So if that's the case, you want to make sure that you're using your personal email, like a Gmail or a Yahoo or something like that, so that you don't lose access, right? An employer's trying to like offer you like an interview and say you don't even have access to that email, right? Making sure that you have again a phone number and an email that is actually that you're currently using is going to be super helpful. Also pack snacks and water, and then just be confident in your ability and have a positive attitude. I think that definitely makes a difference, right, as you kind of navigate this. And just know that your skill sets and everything that you have is so valuable, and that if you feel really good about your skill sets, right, you're going to be able to portray that to the employer when you talk to them. So have confidence in your ability, and just know that you're all here for a reason, and that they would be lucky to hire any of you, okay? So now this is the fun part. How many of you have heard of an elevator pitch? Okay, plenty of people. Great. Yes. So elevator pitch is just a fancy way to say this is like I kind of like to think of it as your 30-second like infomercial about yourself, right? It's basically how you're going to introduce yourself when you meet with an employer. So this is some of the things that you want to include. So your academic information, right? This might be your major, your concentration, your classification or graduation date. If you're not sure when you're going to graduate yet, that's completely okay. But in that case, you can say first year, second year, minor if you have a minor. If you don't, again, you can leave that out. Relevant experiences. So really thinking about the jobs, internship, leadership opportunities that you've pursued. And I would say for the relevant experience section, everyone's going to be so different, right? Some of us have great extensive leadership experience and we're really involved in clubs on campus, and that might be something that we want to highlight. Others, maybe we have a lot of job experience. So it could be different for each person, and that's completely okay. But you just want to think, what is a relevant experience that I have that I want to showcase to the employer that would relate to this position, right? And don't, kind of talk about all of your experiences either. Maybe just choose like one or two that really align to the opportunity that you're wishing to pursue. The other thing you want to include is some of your skills, right? So really thinking about transferable skills like we talked about. Is it interpersonal skills that you want to highlight? Is it your leadership ability that you want to highlight? Maybe you have some technical skills such as using Excel or Word, right? What are some things that you're really proud of that could really help you for that internship or job opportunity that you're interested in? And lastly, really looking at career goals and interests and relating it back to the company, right? So just like our example of, maybe working for California healthcare systems, it could be that you're really interested in affordable healthcare for all of California, right? And that's something that's really important to you too, and you want to relate to that company's mission. So looking at that is going to be essential. And this is how to more in depth how to write your elevator pitch. And so we're going to be practicing this too. So for students and new graduates, you can include your name, your school, your degree, and your major. And more experienced individuals, you may wish to introduce yourself and then begin with this middle sentence. So for the middle sentence, you want to list your relevant experience. Again, maybe choose one experience, a role that you've done, and some of the skills that you've developed, something that you're proud of, and what your future goal might be. And the last sentence would be briefly kind of talking about how your background might benefit the listener. You can also ask for suggestions about who else you might wish to speak with for advice regarding your career goals. So, for example, you could say, do you have any advice for me as I prepare for my career in the blank field? Or could you suggest somebody else that I should contact? So now that we've kind of covered elevator pitch, we're gonna do some practice creating one. So I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes to brainstorm what your elevator pitch would sound like as you introduce yourself to employers. So and once you're done, we'll have a whole group discussion. So go ahead and take 5 minutes. I went ahead and I kind of listed out what to include in each sentence. And then that way you can do some practice. So I'll go ahead and give you 5 minutes, and then we will meet back as a whole group to discuss our elevator pitches.
I'll jump in. I'll be brave. So I started with my name is Alexis Veal. I'm currently enrolled at at Sacramento State in the International MBA program, which is online, fully remote. I have over 17 years of experience in IT project management and leadership, with the bulk of my time at IBM as a senior project manager, where I hone my skills in complex, fast-paced environments. I'm also a certified project management professional and a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. My goals include looking for career opportunities where I can help an organization further develop their operations teams or their project management teams. Who else would you recommend that I speak with? That's it.
Yay, that was amazing, Alexis. Thank you so much for being brave and for sharing. That was perfect. And we will go ahead and make sure that you are entered in that raffle. Thank you so much for sharing. Does anybody else want to share?
Awesome. Hello. So my elevator pitch is as goes. Good afternoon. My name is Baxter and I graduate with a communication degree here at Sac State in May. Some relevant experience I have is managing an office for a small construction company. Most recently, I worked for Apple selling iPhones and MacBooks. My proudest accomplishment is as a server, I could outsell my top earning coworker who had been at the restaurant for 20 years. In gross sales, I surpassed $2,000 during a 6-hour shift. My career goal is to become an attorney or go into marketing and sales.
Yay, thank you so much for sharing, Baxter. That was awesome. I love that you both are including relevant experiences in that skill set category, right? Yeah, if I was an employer, I would have hired you. So thank you so much for sharing. You will also be entered into the raffle, and you both included specific details. Yes, that is so true. So that's awesome, right? So when we have another one. Erica, would you like to share?
Hey, yeah, I just thought I would share mine as well.
Of course.
I said, hi, I'm Erica Gimple. I'm a junior at Sac State University, currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I do already have my associate's in liberal studies as well, but in May of 27, I will be graduating with my bachelor's degree. I have over 4 years of experience in customer service and sales and want to expand my experience. I'm currently looking to gain experience within the realm of my criminal justice degree, whether that pertains to law enforcement, court work, security, or anything like that. If you have anything similar to that, I would love to learn more, or if you could refer me to someone who has something similar that I can speak to.
Yay, great job, Erica. That was awesome. And I love that you kind of expanded on the skill sets that you already have and what you're trying to gain in the field of criminal justice too, right? So that's perfect. A really great example.
All right, I'll go. My name's Devin Nia, and I'm a sociology major with a marketing minor at Sac State. I've developed strong skills in research, data gathering, and communication through projects where I build surveys, analyze findings, and presented insights. I also led a marketing plan project where I coordinate a small team, delegate tasks, and deliver clear progress updates. Outside the classroom, I'm active in the Horton Marketing Club and Video Studio Association. I volunteer at community events supporting fundraising and operations. With this mix of research and marketing experience, I'm excited to contribute to data-driven or community-focused roles, and I appreciate any suggestions on who else I should connect with as I explore career paths.
Great job, Devin. That was awesome. I love how you included your club experience as well as your classroom experience of leadership. Yeah, so what you want to kind of think about is the skill sets that you're gaining, even if the experience looks a little bit different, right? So, for example, um, if let's say you're in a customer service type role right now, right? If you're working at, let's say, like a fast food joint, right, to kind of to get some money for school, but you're, let's say, but you're trying to work for like the state, right? It's like, how do I match those two skill sets, right? You kind of want to think about, okay, in my customer service role, what are some of the skills that I'm gaining, right? Maybe it's the fact that you're learning patience, right? Especially if you're serving so many people in the fast food industry. Maybe it's the fact that you know how to problem solve, right, and multitask. Okay, well, those kind of skill sets can also be applied to the state, right? Even if you're applying for like, let's say, an analyst role. Well, you can still use those skill sets of problem solving. You're probably going to be solving some major projects that your company is providing you with. You're also going to have to think about how to de-escalate tough situations, right? So really thinking about the skill sets instead of the role is what I would suggest, especially if you're thinking about switching the industry or you feel like the industry is a little bit different than what you're applying for. Just think in terms of like, what are the skill sets that I've gained and can this be applied to the position? Does that answer your question? Okay, well, I just want to say thank you all for creating a safe space so that we could all practice our elevator pitch statements. And I just want to say, y'all did such a fabulous job. Every single person that shared, I was like, oh my goodness, like if I was an employer, like I'd want to hire y'all. Look at all the amazing skill sets that you all have. So definitely, practice, practice, practice. And hopefully you feel a little bit more confident in your ability now to be able to introduce yourself, right, to potential employers. So, yeah, I just want to say kudos to all of you, and you will be entered in that drawing. So, more to come.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in real quick again, Aria. I'm so sorry.
No,
We're
you're
going to go ahead and do a live drawing near the end of this presentation, so that way you'll see your names going in a wheel, and we're going to do like a little drum roll. Everyone's going to do a little drum roll, and then we'll go ahead and see who wins the prize as well too. And then also, before I forget, I want to let you know at the end of this workshop, we're going to submit a link for a survey. We want to make sure that we get your feedback on the workshop itself. But
perfect.
I see there's a question too, Aria, from someone else.
Let's
Uh, Joy. Okay, perfect. Okay. So how do you tell any employers if you are fresh off the boat and still haven't acquired any experience yet because you haven't had a chance to? Wonderful question.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? And I think it's like being strategic, right, with that. So, for example, if you are applying for an internship, right, or a job position and you're like, I don't have a lot of relevant work experience, I would really encourage you to think about, do I have any club experience that I can list on here? Have there been projects that I've done, through like my classes? Um, like really thinking about, okay, are there group projects that I've done? Have I led a team of any sort, right? Maybe it's like a communications course that you took and you created a whole spreadsheet and you wrote down, the names of the people in your group and when you were going to meet, and then you were organizing meetings. Well, that is essentially that's management skills right there, right? So really thinking outside the box about what are the skill sets that I already have, even if it's not through work experience per se. Are there skill sets that I can utilize from other means that I've done? And how do I kind of showcase those skill sets that could be valuable, right? So really thinking about if you're thinking about sports, maybe you're the captain of the volleyball team. Cool, that's leadership experience. Each one of us are going to be so different in the skill sets that we have. So I really encourage you to just kind of think about what kind of skill sets do I have and how do I showcase those? And friends and family can be a really great reference too of this. So, even asking our friends and family, like, what skill sets do you see in me, right? Just having a discussion so that when you do introduce yourself, you're able to kind of, again, list out, club experience, leadership experience. Maybe it's coming from different organizations, volunteer work, whatever it may be that can kind of showcase what skill they're looking for. So preparing for a career fair, here are some takeaways. I also want to point out that we have a resource library on Handshake as well that has different handouts. So we have one for job and internship fair tips and strategies. So everything that we've kind of discussed is going to be on there for you. If you just want to take a quick look at it and be like, okay, what were some of the key takeaways, right? You can go ahead and do that as well. And the resource library also has a ton of other worksheets and handouts too about other relevant topics that you might wish to look at. So you can go ahead and do that. And so here's the QR code for our job and internship career fair. The first one is for Monday, March 2nd. This is for the All Majors Career Fair. So if you scan that QR code, you can go ahead and register for it on there, as well as look at the list of the employers that I was talking about. So I'll go ahead and pause here for a minute just in case you want to scan this QR code. And here is our second one for the Education, Youth, Family Services Career Fair, which will be on Tuesday, March 3rd. Again, 10:30 to 2 in the University Union Ballroom, and you can register as well for this one using Handshake. I'd really encourage you to check out both because I think both are just exceptional career fairs to be at, and you're going to see the different employers. And like I said, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, so definitely looking at all of the opportunities that are provided to you at both. So I'll give you about another minute here if you want to register for the career fair, and I'll pause.
Question is, have you personally witnessed an example of someone with no relevant experience to the job or internships, but they have leadership and management skills, receive an offer from an employer?
I have actually seen this firsthand. I think oftentimes what happens is that, if you're able to kind of exemplify your skill sets, I had a student that was an anthropology major actually get offered a role for a tech company because of their leadership skills um, as they were volunteering for the career fair. So it's like sometimes, I think it's more about how you're kind of wording your experience, right? And the initiative that you're showing. As long as you can kind of like showcase the skill sets that you have. I think, in the case of even like through a functional resume, sometimes students will use that instead of a chronological that we're most used to seeing. You can definitely schedule an appointment too with me or any of the other career counselors, and we can kind of show you how to highlight those skill sets and how to kind of word it in your resume. And so you'll feel more confident in your ability as you connect with these employers to talk about some of those skill sets. So yes, I have actually seen it firsthand happen. So the other thing is,
Sorry, I see
I was
another,
muted, sorry.
sorry, I saw another question come
Yeah,
through.
yeah, sorry.
And it was, would you recommend volunteering for the career fair, although you would like to attend yourself as well?
this is a good question. So they usually happen in slots. So what you could do is you could volunteer, let's say for, and Maria and Angelica, you can kind of let me know if I'm wrong, but I think it's in slots, right? That they can choose certain times that they want to volunteer, and then still be able to attend part of the career fair or vice versa.
That is
Correct.
correct, yes. And
Okay.
I think Abraham's still here too. He might want to chime in on that if he's still here, but our volunteer coordinator. But yes, the simple answer is yes. We encourage the students who are volunteering for the career fair to not miss out on opportunities to meet with employers as well too. What better excuse, you're there anyway, right? Definitely take advantage of it. It's for all of our students and alumni, so please definitely take that time.
Okay, so now jumping into career fair accommodations. So the Career Center is offering early access between 10 and 10:30 for students who require reasonable accommodations and may find the crowded environments to be challenging to ensure inclusivity and equal opportunities for all participants. So just know that that is an option. And here are our Career Center resources. So if you go under featured tools, you're going to see Handshake. That is what I kind of use to show you, how to register for the career fair, as well as how to search for employers. There's also, definitely utilizing that tool in order to search for job opportunities, as well as other Meet the Employer events and fabulous events that our ER team puts together, such as you're able to meet different employers, right? We have resume workshops, we have career fair prep workshops, and a whole bunch of other workshops that you can attend. So definitely utilize those and come check it out. We also offer drop-ins and appointments on our page. So you can go ahead and follow the scheduling instructions and make an appointment with our staff for that if you need help with like your resume or in order to prepare for the career fair, things that you want to utilize. We also help with, major and career exploration, grad school exploration, interview coaching, you name it, anything career related, we can help you with. So go ahead and schedule drop-ins and appointments as per your convenience. And if you click on career counseling, it will also show you all of the different topics and tools that are available to you. And I just want to point out a couple different tools too that you may wish to utilize. So we have our job and internship handbook on the chat. So like we talked about preparing your resume for the career fair, you can go ahead and click on that, and it has samples of cover letters and resumes. And then also Labor Market Insights is a great tool. And what that tool does is it'll give you real-time data about different roles in different industries and core tasks that would be required, as well as technical skills and core competencies. So, thinking about what are some of those skill sets that are required and how can I highlight those into my resume? It's basically letting you know, like, according to the marketing industry, they're really looking for business development skills, marketing skills, critical thinking. Let me make sure I highlight these skills into my resume. So it's like a cool little cheat sheet to kind of let you know like what to add and include. And here is how to connect with us. So we are located in Lassen Hall 1013, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That is our phone number, and all of the resources that we shared with you today are going to be on our Career Center website. So go ahead and click on that if you need to access any of our tools. We offer both drop-ins as well as appointments. I'm going to kind of point out briefly the difference between the two. So the 45-minute appointments are basically for if you have in-depth questions, right? So let's say I am a communications major and I'm trying to figure out what are the different job opportunities that I have? What are the different industries that I want to go into? We can help you create a career plan and really figure out like what that looks like and what your next steps are. That would be a 45-minute appointment. If you're like, you know what, I've utilized the job and internship handbook, I just want some quick feedback on my resume, then in that case, you can choose to do the 15-minute drop-in instead. And they are offered at various times, and you can check out our website for both, again, virtual and in-person options as well.
I noticed that the latest career fair by date is March 3rd on Handshake. Will there be other career fairs or opportunities in the latter half of the semester? So through the Career Center, we do not host any other career fairs. And the engineering department is hosting a career fair on February 20th. And the College of Business is also hosting a graduate career fair, and those are also on Handshake. But yeah, through the Career Center, we will not be hosting any large career fairs. We will be hosting something that we are calling a Hornet Partner Showcase. And that is that is a very small mini career fair. So that unlike our larger career fairs that we're having now, where there will be 104 employers at each day, about that much at each day. The Hornet Partner Showcase, that's a mini career fair, will only host about 15 employers. So it's a more intimate setting. That is on May 5th. And so that would be an opportunity, though, again, it is a more intimate setting. less amount of employers. And so that is just something to keep in mind. Across various fields, we have some government, corporations, and such. The other thing I wanted to note was with our larger career fairs that are taking place on March 2nd and March 3rd, we will be having a student help desk that is ran by some of our career center staff, and that is inside the actual ballroom. And so if you attend the career fair and you're there and you're like, okay, I'm starting to get overwhelmed, I'm starting to get lost, I have some questions, please feel free to come and talk to our career center help desk, and they will be able to help navigate some of those questions for you. So I just want that to be a reminder that even once you're in the career fair, that there's still ample amount of help taking place.
We do this because of you. We provide the information that you want, and the information that we feel that will definitely help you in your career development journey. However, we want to make sure that we're actually, excuse me, actually tapping into some of the things that you're looking for. Maybe you look at some of our offerings, like, I wish you would have a workshop like this, or maybe I can get some more information. So if you could take the time, it should take no more than like about a minute or two to go ahead and click on this link and fill out this survey. That would be deeply appreciated. That helps us tailor these workshops more to what you're looking for. And if we're doing something great, we want to continue doing something great. If there's something that, may be lacking, we'd like to hear that as well, too. And then lastly, regarding that Hornet Partner Showcase, we will be advertising that more after the career fairs are over. The Hornet Partner Showcase, like my colleague mentioned, there's going to be about 15 employers there. It's going to be a more of an intimate setting, and it's really going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to meet with employers that are dedicated and desire Hornet talent. So you'll have, unlike the larger fairs, which is great, you can be able to meet with them. Like, it can be a little overwhelming, but this one will be an opportunity for you to have more of those one-on-one conversations and network as well. So just want to make sure to keep your check your emails often. We'll be getting that information out via Handshake as well.
And I am just going to leave you with this quote. Your potential is limitless. Each conversation you have at the career fair is a step towards the future you're building. So embrace every opportunity to learn, grow, and shine. You're all incredible. So really just have faith in your ability, right? You're all incredible. So thank you for being here today.